ndine Brian Banda kulikonse kumene mukutionera nthawi zino. Program yathu yapadera timaitcha kuti Times Special imene timabwera ndi alendo apaderanso. Lero ndili ndi Dr. Wisely Phiri amene ndi mwini wake wa kampani ya Spark Systems Limited, komanso yowa ndi current president wa Malawi Chambers of Commerce and Industry, MCCCI. Ndikufuna ndikulandireni atsogoleri mwatilemekeza kwambiri.
Sikomo kwambiri.
Kaya kuliro kuli kunyumba nkuti?
Kunyumba kudakali kunoko ku Banda.
Ku Banda ya? Onimwana ngati makhalitso lilongwe.
Ayi. Kulongwe tangomanga head office kumeneko.
Chabwino.
Koma paja tufati mangeso kunoko, so family idakali kunoko.
Chabwino. Ikuyenda bwanji ntchito makamaka yambire ku Commerce of Industry?
Ku Chamber of Commerce taunena kuti ntchito ikuyenda bwino kwambiri.
Okay.
Yayendanso bwino kwambiri muzaka zimene ndakhala ndili president. Mmene ndimayamba amene ndimakhala kuti akundi ikapo president atandivotera pali zinthu zimene nanena kuti tipanga tikamamaliza temu yanu. Nde temu ikutha mu April mwezi wa mawa.
Okay.
Nde panopa ntakunena kuti zinthu zayenda bwino kwambiri. Tikamaona values amene timanena kuti chinthu ichi mlingo wake ufika apa zonse takwanisa zimene timayena kupanga.
Anali munalowa liti president?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year term.
A 2-year term.
Okay. Nkutheka kuti mukhoza kuti gawira zina zimene have there been any achievements?
Yeah, so the achievements that are based zinthu zimene nanena kuti chani tipanga. So for example, the time I was becoming the president, there were some specific things that I promised the members to say we'll achieve. One of them was to operationalize the arbitration center. I will explain what that is. The other one was, I come from IT. So some of the processes that we are running under the chamber, I looked at them to say, no, we need to digitize them. So those ones we've also achieved. Then I also looked at the trade fair. So mostly at the trade fair is our flagship event. And looking at the trade fair, how it's been run, we had to relook at it to say, how do we make the trade fair add value to our members? Because when members come with their products at the trade fair, yes, some of them want to sell, but that should not be the focus. The focus should be partnerships. So when we look at the partnerships, we're also looking at how do we export. So if you want to export, then now we have to bring in people from outside. Similar companies where you can do synergies and say, if you are exporting something, let's say some macadamia, who is buying? Do I need to sell in Malawi? Can I sell it outside? So based on that, we had to relook at the trade fair. And I'm happy to say, even if you had come the last trade fair, for example, we are even running seminars at the trade fair for our sellers, where we would even teach them about the Africa Intercontinental Free Trade Area, so that they should be able to export outside. So out of it, actually, we would come and check. If you look at the numbers, so for example, in terms of businesses that were done at the trade fair, already they were in billions. If you look at people that now came there and sold their products, it's in hundreds of millions. Then, based on those, I had given the KPIs to the people at the secretariat. So you need to tell them to say, Ngati wewe for example, director of membership. At the end of the year, I don't just to be approving your salary. What have you achieved as a director of membership? So we had also to look at in terms of the growth in the membership. So all those, today, if you look at the growth of the membership, we've grown over 50% of it. If you look at the monies that we've been generating at the MCCI, it's gone up by 36%. But then that's the turnover. By the end of the year, you say, okay, this is the amount that we've generated. But what is the surplus that you're getting? So the surplus will help you to expand outside. The surplus already for us year on year has gone to 75%, which has allowed us now to go into the other districts. So you might have seen, for example, last year, we even went to Zomba and have farmers market, which never used to happen. So now we've gone outside these cities. Yeah. Yeah, so tapezeka kuti mpaka takafika ngati kuzomba nakhani farmers market kumene timakaonesa kuti as MCCI ma members ang'ono chifukwa kuti kumbuyo koso tikamakhala ndi anthu kumacheza nawo amazane naso kuti representation yane ya makampani akuluakulu ili bwino koma ang'onowa muzitipanga chani ndi ichinali ngati njira imodzi yomapangaso pull in makampani ang'ono so you can even see makampani ang'ono mene nimabweramo kukhala ngati president wa chamber amene anakwanisa kuti pa membership anali 7 mene ukamba pano pati ndi 48 makampani ang'ono ma SMEs so zakhala ngati in all angles ma achievements achitika
munakamba ya yoyambirira icha
arbitration center
yes
yeah so tikamaona arbitration center pali zinthu zingapo zimene ife timakayang'ana kuti ife index yathu aziko anthu akunja azitiona pali zinthu zina zimene timayena tizichita as a country so tikamakamba za foreign direct investment anthu akunja chabwerese ndrama kunoko for example government makamba za ATMM strategy tumafuna anthu abwerese kandi mining kandi chani ndrama ziyabweresa zambiri ndipo mazakhala kamayang'ana maiko aja amakayang'ananso kuti malamulo akamayenda motani nditati ndayambana ndi boma ine ndinawakunja namba ndi boma zaita motani kunoko mutha kukhulupirira or mukuziwaso kuti tikakhala ndi milandu mwina kukhota matha kutenga 20 years ku business zimayenda zimenezo 20 million kwa chapa nopa in 20 years time mazakhala useless so anthu akunja aja akamaona so amazayamba kuonaso kuti titati tabwera ukoko kuti zinthu sizinayende tizipita kutiko ndi anzathu anayambisa mati arbitration center chifukwa milandu yambiri imakathirapo kambirana arbitration center matha kukhala so even timeline and say mulandu umaliza ni chani 3 months so ifeyo tinazayambisa so chani arbitration center inapanga register kalekale kumasima ayenda
okay
ndi mene ndabwerapo president napanga so push kuti no arbitration center yo iyende panopa ikuyenda ndithu moti kupanga so train ma arbitrators zinthu zaba kuyenda so mbali
malongosola ndithu kusambana kwina kumene kunalipo
azo sezo panopa zikuyenda tinapanga so employee so CEO amene akulana so arbitration center panopa tupanga train anthu amene chifukwa arbitration imakhala kuti mwina inu ndino ndi company kamwina ndi construction ine ndikufuna mundipangire chinthu koma sizinaende tayambana ino mundifuna kupita ku court koma kapita ku court mbapeza nthawi zambiri zimakachedwa ndi matha kulemba mu contract jamunena kuti tikapanga tikakambirana using an arbitrator amene azanene kuti mulandu warakwa ndi awa or tipange chonchi so with that imapeza kuti mwapasana ndi nthawi yonena kuti mwina within 2 months arbitrator atipase chani chigamulo chake so zimenezo tazipanga panopa tupanga train ma arbitrators and zinthu zikuyenda bwinobwino
okay so munapanga chani kuti mwati membership iso yakweranso okay how were you able kuti mwachite want kuti ajoine and kusajoina mavuto ake ndotani
so kumene ndikuchokera panopa I think taunena so kumbuyo kuna khalapo so chani president wa City Association naso ndi mavuto so onkera komwepo
okay
anthu kuti akakhale member amakayang'ana kuti ndipezamo value yotani ndi mutha kukhulupiraso kuti mene timapanga apapapo economy simayenda bwino ndi kuti member abwere azalipire membership yatunso ili ma levels angapo pali mamemba amakampani akuluakulu timalipaso ndramazina amusiso ndramazina koma timaonesa kuti value yake ikhala value yotani so for example makampani akuluakulu takhala tikukhala I've been reaching out to my companies takhala tikukhala ndi for example ma CEOs forum so CEOs forum iniyo ngati company yayikulu kandi press kandi TNM kandi chani ndi mavuto anje tikamakapanga ngati fe ngati chemba ndi atipange robe mavuto muli nawo ndi mavuto anje amene tingatenge tikakhali pasi tikakambirana makampani sawang'ono mwe ndi mavuto anje then iso apapa tukhala ndi ma issues oti currency yathu simayenda bwinobwino ndi nkuna timakayang'ana so kuti ifeyo kuti tikapange compete market ina kumene ndaku Zambia tena tipange motani ndi timakaphunzisa kale ndi anthu akamaona value amatha kulipira bwinobwino and mutemu yangamo sintakunena so kuti even chani membership fee nakweraso
okay
koma membership fee kukwera koma anthu amabwera kumapanga register ndi kuti amayiona value ya
phindu lokhala member wa MCCCI ndilotani
phindu lake pali zinthu zingapo so ngati poyamba pali ma issues ena ake ma members athu ena mapeza kuti amapanga export zikabwera kunoko ndrama zijazi akukanika kuzipanga access
okay
so munthu wabweresa forex yako para kubwera malamulo pakati katipa umanena kuti mwina forex izipita ku reserve bank izipanga chofa ma 30% timatha kupita kukakamba nawo kuti uyu ngati ali akupanga n forex bwanji tikupanga izizi angati tingathandize motani kwathandiza kulemba even ma document yo kuti at least pakhale ma waivers enake nde pamazakhalanso zinthu zina zimene unena ngati ma training a exportation pamazakhalanso anthu ena oti mwina mwapanga export wakablokedwa pachani pa border zachitikapo is last year unaka mpaka nazafika pa Facebook manenaso kuti ine zandivuta yanjani pa border zikundikanika timarowerera ngati MCCI.
Okay.
So ifika ntchito yathu ndiyo panga robe kuti sitikupanga robe kuti muthawe misonkho mpange chani ayi koma environment iyo iyende bwino ngati government ikunena kuti tithakumapanga export ngati pali china chimene chikubloka kuti musapange export ife timapita kukakamba nawo kanena kuti no timene apanga export mwabweresa lamulo ilili. So izozo anthu akupindula nazo kwambiri akamapanga export especially akamapanga export ndi ma market. So oroso ma market makamba kuti mwapita ku trade fair mufuna mphunzire ziwiri zitatu ina even trade fair ya last year ndi inayo tinatha kupita kumakakamba even ndi makampani akulu ndithakunena nga trade fair inayo ya osa 2025 2024 National Bank inabweresa ma SMEs about 50 woti osanalipira anangobweresa uzapanga chani because National Bank ndi member watu so tukapasa anthu aja ngati market yotatha kumagulisa zinthu zawo yeah.
So ndi zikuoneka kuti zikuyenda masankho akubwera mwaseka koma ndamva kuti akuti simufuna oyimira
temu yanga ndapanga zimene maina kupanga so ntaunena kuti ineyo sindiyimira kusayimirako sikuti pali vuto ina lake ayi koma kusayimirako pali zinthu zimene ndinaona kuti poyambirirapo tikuyenda kupanga chipi mmene ndakambira pano zipuseza pangidwa chipi. I believe panopa kuti with the caliber of the people we have in the industry I think we nasabwereso ndi chani ndi direction yake kuzathandizira chamber ineyo panopa with what I've read from the chamber side I want to concentrate already on my company which is Spark Systems. During the same time many chambers maenda bwino kwambiri ku Spark so zaenda so bwino kwambiri so ndakhala ngati ndapangidwa ku stretch kwambiri and I want to concentrate mbali ya company komaso I've come to realize one thing kuti I'm saying kuti ku Spark is kuyenda koma we mostly operating like in a silo what makampani ambiri sizimayenda. So I would want to concentrate on Spark but on a bigger side where maybe we can create an ecosystem tipange create makampani angapo tithandizane kuti tiyende motani kupita kusogolo effectively ndi experience utapanga export timakagwira ntchito kunja zonse ziji tifuna tione kuti tingathandizana zathu amene angapangeso zomwezo. So I would want my concentration to go somewhere else then kuchemba kuchifata I'm already seeing kuti there are a lot of business leaders, a lot of CEOs that I can take up from where I've left. That's why I work on that was kuti sindimira so ayi ndifuna pange kusedi mbalina
koma anthu akuna kuti muimire
zimene zilipo
anthu akuna kuti muimire chifukwa zikuoneka ngati kuti utsogoleri wanu I stand to be corrected koma zikuoneka kuti utsogoleri wanu unaenda bwino. I may not have all the details koma ano zikuoneka kuti zinaenda ndiye vuto chiyani because if you have been able to do both zaka ziwiri zapitazi you can do both zaka ziwiri zikubwera.
No, I should agree. Kuti even the time I was state secretary, kuti I'm not standing, they didn't believe. And I push abe, I had to stick my guns and say, kuti neo send upitiliza. For example, last year from the Spark side, already tapanga open my branches, my country away, Tanzania and Mozambique. That's a lot of growth already for me to look at. Then so within Spark there are other companies, subsidiaries. We've got one which is does cyber security. It's called District 30. Nde kuti ukokoso ndina ndi direso ndi anthu. Then panopa mene ndakambira mujamu zonena kuti I want to promote others going forward. We've had issues already in terms of people maybe looking at us, looking at Malawi as a country down. So you might have seen, maybe viewers might have seen, this year we've gone into what we call Think Tech Thursday, where every last Thursday of every month, some social media kupanga ku Spark, where we go out and showcase with Marive them, osa zongo gamba. Lero tikanena kuti system yanu ikagwa ina izuka ukuthi kuonesa zimachitika. It's one way of showcasing to kupanga zithu zani. Koma would want now to move forward. So izozo tizipanga every month, tapangapo kale miezi iwiri panopa, January, February, but tizipanga so much mwavitirira. I would also want to go into trying to help anthu ena amene akumapanga makampani awo pamwina sizikwenda. So those I think that we call, for example, acceleration. Wina ndi idea koma zikumbalikira pela pake. He felt in the knowledge, in the experience amene tapangira grow. So I'm also building another team that has to help me in terms of that acceleration and part of incubation. So mukamaona zonsezi ntchito yake ndi yayikulu. Koma tufuna tipange create ecosystem yoti samaone kuti tikakhala tizingoona spark. Tionebe makampani angapo. And panopa mukamaona even with the direction, I've said this in some of the meetings, some of the donor communities and all that. Mukamaona direction of what the use has taken. We are now necessarily they're not looking into traditional donor, yoto mabirika government. Akomaona kwambiri into the transactional side of it. It's creating a lot of opportunity for the private sector. Because private sector, we also target making a profit. So I can already see what as we go forward, if you zienda bwino. Meaning that bandona zienda so bwino kwambiri. Koma zikamaenda so bwino kwambiri, you would want to create and kuti mukhalepo anthu angapo. Otherwise, if you are alone, tomorrow even MRA is only hammering you, you cannot cry because you are the only one. So I would want to go into a side way now, we can create an ecosystem and have a number of those companies. Kuri anthu kunja kuti pawo kakumaisesa kumasizikwenda. Koma nthawi zina imakhala kuti mwina kukanika capital, nthawi zina simakhala capital kwenikweni, imakhala kuti aziwe kuti, for example, if I'm dealing, for example, with government, palekati ngalimba zina zakuzana how we do with government, anthu ambiri anabwera mu inbox manga. If it matter about kuti izi zimachitika bwanji. So it's where now so for example, I was explaining to say most of the people that I know, I mean aruza ma properties zao. I mean makaona mu newspaper muja kunena kuti arandidwa nyumba. Ambiri ma entrepreneurs amene amakauta napanga supply government. Koma sana iganizira. Ungamakana obanso mapeza mu business menda bwino anakawina mwina business yake na 10 million kwacha anakawina dira 100 million government. Then akatengera ngongore kupanga fund. Government doesn't pay in 30 days. So umapeza kuti ngongore ikukwera chani interest. Koma mbali ina yonso sakukulipira. Korato inali nyumba akulanda nyumba. So mimi nimakhaunda khabaso amakambani if it's matter about wina inaso zinandichite koma simaziwa. So some of those we need to sit down and start sharing. And maybe we can direct each other and see how best those can be handled. Yeah.
So, mwalimba tima?
Baba basi.
Basi?
Direction dukurowera, I'm very sure kuti it's the right direction.
Kuninga suma kandi antama kutaliza nchino mtu.
So, let's look at it in this way. Even kuchemba huko, it's not kuti ineyo 100% mabanga ndineyo. Because ine as a president, I set the direction.
That's right, yeah.
I set the vision, then I give the people the KPI. Nufuna mubange is. Come after 6 months, nufuna zaoni mubanga is means. Then you start following up. So remember, as I'm moving out, secretary is still there. And who amenda kugira nao, amena banga is easy. Adakaribu alikumeneko. Meaning, if the new president comes in with his vision, our nchito abankari prove kutamata kugira nchito. It will just depend on the president up as a vision yake yotani. Ndiazi banga follow kumotani. And I'm very sure. And already now also good in case they want to reach out to me, I'm always available. If I president, I'm still member of the chamber. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you my meeting.
I got my meeting with Banda because I'm still a member. And this one quite first I'm not a president, but I'm still owning a number of companies. So this is kind
of the challenges Ange. I mean now in your leadership.
My challenges are getting done. Yeah. So when you're achieving something, it doesn't mean my challenges are corrupt. So you can even see where we're coming from. I came in during the time we wanted to go and get Zisango.
Is that 2020?
No. So
this
is actually the last years. Because if you look at, for example, governments, most of the times, my campaign at Jamaica 2 years before.
So we were preparing.
Yeah, we're preparing for the Sanko.
Okay.
So when now you come and bring in some of the conversations and say, "Ichicha baba sije kwenda bwino," antama kaonera so another eye of thinking kuti mwina wanda opposition, mwina wanda aja kuti. So even in those type of discussions, that means you have to be mwina mkhali niyo kunena kuti ndikupanga ndikufuna ichi chifukwa chake ichi justifying because now you have to convince the other person kuti your intentions is clear. we've seen those as we're going into that. Then we've also gone nthawi yomwe yoti tinandi ma forex issues, tinandi ma power issues. So even if we talk to our members, production in Asika, most of them they're talking about 50% of their capacity. So ukamapita kuti maromo, yes, I had a lot of members coming in, joining us. It meant even the problem that became even more than what we expected. So I would go with for example, one of the things that I did, we expanded and even reached out to IFC, part of the IMF, the donor community, and told them maybe some of these decisions, because I need what we call data-driven decision making. You don't just wake up and send fund bankage without data. So we've even reached out to them to say, mungati thandizendima analysts. Silufuna ndama zanu. Tipasane ma analysts kuti tikapanga analyze zinthu zokumapita government na kuti tax ita icho send. Then tizipanga analyze and tell them munena kuti muka icho sarero in the next 2 years mupanga ndrama izisi. So those discussions actually tazipangaso. Then we've got avomeraso koma papa amangodikira chifukwa cha zasankho ankanga chani apanga koma expect by mid year or towards the end atipasa ma analyst chifukwa nagwiza naso kale. So there are all those things where you sit down and you have to discuss my politicians, then you have to discuss with the private sector. Then at the end of it, there are some things, for example, where some taxes all of a sudden present easy budget the other side. So you have to go to your members and show them the papers and say, present. So there were a lot of issues. So this is on top of what I'm doing with SPAC. I have to deal with almost everyone.
What about Nkaniza Forex? Zida affect Banji under your leadership?
So Nkaniza Forex is never going to affect almost when areas.
In my base and Simuli my way now.
So atolena kuti ifeyo as a company.
Yeah.
Tinalibeko bwino.
Okay.
In a way, because I should say for the past few years, my Zambia operations have done really well.
Okay.
Rwanda operations done really well. So these two, Madiba Sabi Mpanga Cushion Marau.
Okay.
Koma now, the way you transact, if let's say today I've used $4 million from Zambia, I need to be able to pay back. Kumepeza kuti ndama icho ukalipira kunoko walipira client, ndama icho si kuteka or even $50 kuti ibwerere uko si kuteka. Ndezi mezu mwaza tichitisa panopa kuti tangomaliza project kulilongo tinati mangeso chifukwa now you are worried now kuti ndama ipeza chani yabangaso divari. So if we've had those type of issues, when now you come to our actual customers, members of the chamber, I think we're talking about the forex issues, but some of the policies that came within these issues zinabanga affect my members one bit. So for example, even we had, I cannot say kuti tinaka kuti tibere to forex as a country. Ka forex amakarabo kaka ngono kenagake. Koma when now government came and say ndama izibita ku reserve bank, I think most of the people that had money in Marau, they no longer kept them here.
Okay.
So it affected almost everyone. Even that one the many company access zimaganika. So we had to go and rob it, and some of the the policies does it. But some of the discussion you don't just go and say to is easy. You have to discuss, because now you're going towards the elections. You know what you need is a business environment. I'm a business side.
No tichite break bangono tiberanso ndi mbosa chedwa apa ngati mwango tipeza kumene mukuonera ndi program ya Times Special tili ndi Dr. Waisle Phiri amene ndi president wa Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry MCCCI, komanso ndi mkulu wa company za Sparks Systems Limited. Tibweranso posa chedwa. Mukuonera program ya Times Special ndili ndi Dr. Waisle Phiri kuchokera ku Malawi Chambers of Commerce and Industry, komanso iwowa ndi mkulu wa Sparks Systems Limited. Ntambiri, and I think we talked about this in our last conversation some years back. Amangona magalimoto aspark. Ndiye mafusi spark. Kwa pano munafika 60 for sparks 1, 2, 3, now na 16 ndiye ziwenda matani business and yotani.
So if you got the spark timapanga za ICT technology.
Okay.
Technology yathu timapanga zimati enterprise technology.
Enterprise technology.
Yeah. So enterprise, what I mean is the same ICT, but timapanga ma system amene timakapereka ku makampani ena kuti apite kukagulisa kwa anthu. So meaning kuti iwo amakaipanga branding ngati ndi yawo. So timathandiza makampani kuti ma business yawo ayende bwino.
Amakaipanga ngati branding ngati ndi yawo. Give me an example.
Tiwakhadi ma NDA siningalowe kwambiri into yani.
Koma pali zambiri zimene timaziona mdziko muno.
So tisimuziwa kuti akupanga ndi aspark. And most of the times mazapeza kuti for example there have been times kuti mwina system yake yagwa. It might be a bank, it might be telecom sector. My engineer they are working on it.
Okay.
My engineer.
President Peter Mutharika uyankhula mu State of the Nation Address sona ananena kuti ndi chidwi chawo kuti tichite digitalize zinthu. Mnaulandira bwanji utanga? Is that your field?
Yeah, so digitization is our field.
Okay.
We even go beyond the digitization, where we go into what we call automation.
Okay.
So our president Ivanomba Magamba Zoti, as a country, I think we should look at digitization. And honestly, I agree with him 100%. There are some things that we're seeing. Zoruma zachita kudabwa so kuti ifeyo basi timangofuna tizingokhavutika. It doesn't make sense. So for example, if you look from the readership side, you've got my example, for example, what we call identity management. So identity management in the group memory zintungati national ID, driver's license, passport, identity management. Mumakandi muntu oti wachoka kandi kumangochi. Wasiya banja lake, wasiya nthawi yo mvura isakulimaso, nkumaza gona kujani, ka immigration, ka kupita kujani, NRB. Ndokuti as a country we're losing out. His family is losing out, but as a country, again, this is productive citizen. We're losing out. Some of these things can be done from where the people are sitting. And again, we need systems that they should be able to be efficient. Actually, yesterday I was in another function. He mentioned Mausa, so it was a government function. Mausa, so good. Sometimes government should not only be coming to the private sector looking for money, because most of the time, some are funding and whatever for some of the projects. But it should be able to come and we look at the efficiencies. So for example, on that spark, just imagine if a bank goes down for even 30 minutes. You'll find that the Reserve Bank will come from a pen at that time. That's why my bank and bank invest my current high availability system go in our system is a system where Mugokani withdraw money in bank kuma pa ATM mukutenga. And zikagwera to amakazusira ma system ajakuliro. Tinabanga ma system. So bank we're talking about we call them recovery time and recovery point objective. So recovery time is ndibanga ndikagwa tizusanthawe itali bwanji. Recovery point is system ya gwabanova. That I mean tabweresezo ndiabanova kapena ndiazuro kapena ndia some hours ago. So if you look at the government systems, or it appears that seen even for 1 hour. People complain but not that much. You find it takes days and days and days. So meaning good investment there. Now when the president says can we digitize, I think that should be the direction. Can we digitize the systems? But can we even go beyond the digitization? Automation.
Okay.
When you talk about automation, to Samakare would approve when I get Minister Salim office.
Yeah.
Can we have those systems? Bangira physically, we digitize and timaika roles within the systems and say ichi figure akabanga approve ngati palibe chipanga security chipita kwa kuti. So all those affairs aspect we've got the skills already.
Okay. Mukuthandiza bwino ande mwana kuti phama kwasha madola
ko Zambia ndi makwasha
ko Zambia ndi makwasha
Rwanda ndi francs
okay. Yes kuyenda kuno kubwanji
kuno konkovutirapo
mawe kuno
kuno konkovutirapo pamona
so muli ku Rwanda muli ku Zambia
Tanzania
Mozambique
kuma from Rwanda timakapanga ntchito ku Burundi timakapanga ku DRC so physically ti ma countries 5 kuma timapanga ma countries 10
okay
yeah
ndiye kuno kuchikuvuta ndi chani chifani kuona ngati titakumana that was 2 years ago mbona ngati za center
mpovuta kufotokoza kuti
ilumpasa vuti
ngawati mpovuta kufotokoza so Malawi is we've got 2 issues my issues ena ndokhuza for example direct ifeyo my business for example on government but again many ndakambira mujamu nena kuti business and government even if eso tikakhala whatever we're not that much interested because my payments even on the small ones that we did they take forever. There have been some that actually up to 1 year payment or so. So you look at that, you're saying, okay, do you takara iguru? Is this uchitika papas? Mwina face sabange now. Komaso Malawi as a country, if you talk about someone akungo kuchedosa even 4 months, very under majakumago kwambiri. So panoba, even if you do a trail of spark systems, you find the kuti tarimbantu nchido ambiri at every maybe 4 months or whatever, most of those people that have employed, so as a company we're still creating money, we sustaining well, okay, my business when and the other thing is, as we professionals, I don't think I'll be happy to go into a system that will be down for 2-3 days because that now will mess my name. Pompano nari ku Tanzania in one of the meetings, we just went in. Just remember, we know you guys. You guys, you're big because they have seen the thing that we do. Now, Malawi, the way it runs on the digital front, I think there is that much likelihood. What you jump utakupanga mess up your name because I think I didn't have.
Okay.
I didn't have going to be. Pangapo like a certain business in government where the payment never came for 8 months. We wrote a demand letter. Then the people, the programming people are saying, so people actually are comfortable with incompetence.
They are comfortable with incompetence.
So for us, we professionals would not want to mess. If you really, that's why Malawi actually we've done a lot with the private sector. Because private sector people want things to run. Government, we haven't seen that much when it comes to government. Koma, I think what we might want to look at as a country is taking people to task. Your decisions. We never, even Maramura military now, we're not following up and taking people to task. For example, 60% of the business should be given to Malawians. So people are just comfortable and you turn out to ask, who is bomb? If I'm paying the taxes, because the fact that we're in Malawi, we're paying the taxes. If you look at the correction at MRA, even in Banopa, yes, there's a deficit about 2 trillion in the budget, but a lot of the corrections of that amount, I think up to 60%, is coming from the local payers. So the one amount in the bomber, so we need to start taking people to task. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to correct what is happening.
So you have given up on Malawi?
No. No, I haven't given up. Yeah. But we need the right procedures.
Kulipira mochedwa. Malawi is Tanzania amalipira msanga.
Actually, so tikamapanga, for example, tikamapanga ma contract acha. Mmaika montawi imene kwembeza utuzalipira. Kwazi zatu atakukuuza pano kulemba mkonta unena kuti 30 days FS tikwanisa. Tatilembeni 60 days. ndi magwirizana poyamba umaziwa kuti ine ndikuchaja za 60 days.
Okay.
Kunoko amakuza 30 days akutenga 1 year. So meaning having
30 days to 1 year.
Umatenga 1 year. You are failing to plan.
TD a new government under Professor Peter Motele. Tony yawo ikuti bwanji on business. Lipo mwayilandira bwanji.
I think it's the right tone in so many aspects.
Okay.
Mutakuona so even what is happening on the ground, right? Like I said, kumene tachokera kuja kuma company ma members athu ku MCCI production is less than 50%. Some of the issues that we had were due energy. So fuel sama peseka magesa kuvuta is managed to stabilize barrier fuel. I think that one we should appreciate. Yes, wakwera kumpesa. Panopa utakuda ndau ni 5,000 koma timazanira so koma magura ku black market 10,000.
That's right, yeah.
So then you come again into what in private sector we look at source of capital. So source of capital, most of the businesses amagatenga kuma bank. Mukamona menda chokera kuma bank wose amangobwerekesa government. They samatira badira as private sector. Panopa with what they are doing now, apapezeka kuti mabanka jamba kutembenuka. Panopa in actually 2 weeks ago mina mandi imbira one of the branch manager panada kuti mwati kumbukira.
Yeah.
Right, ndima facilities zinake fatika mbirane. Mwati kumbukira panopa.
Okay.
Kuma this is maybe after 5 years because they had the market rate available. So if let's say you look at what we're doing as SPAC, the bank doesn't even care. Then did they care about the others, the smaller ones? They didn't.
Yeah.
So you look at that, even my bank panopa kuoneka kuti amba kutembenuka mapita ku private sector. So the tone has been good. There are some things that we still want to see better because from the private sector things are still expensive. For example, if panopa tunena reference rate is 24 point something, kumama bank add about 5%, 5.7. So we still saying kuti ngatupita bank adenga ngongole ndi 30%.
We are 24 is igwira.
You manage the reference. Ndaba banga add my points on top of the reference rate. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you compare, for example, with Zambia, the reference rate is 15%.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, Zambia should be 13, Mozambique 15.
Oh.
So what that means is ineyo kunogo ndikakakongola ndama ku bank. Ndikupangira business yanga. Ndio profit yanga ikhala at minimum 50% kunipangepo profit because 30 kupita ku bank. Nzanga wa Zambia ali pa 13. Akapanga adi mapoints apa mwina ali Africa 18. Yeah, he only needs 30%. But we all want to export to the same people out there. So still more, I think as of now, we still have to look at the issue. My inflation in the rate or my bank. The direction they've taken, I think it's a good direction.
It's a good direction.
Yeah, it's a good direction. It's really positive. It's giving us a lot of energy.
It can also give you kutembenuka. Kutimwena mukosa kuyamba because but in my issues ama passport. In my issues ama national ID. Zimene munanene kuti munthu achoke ku mangochi kubwera ku Banda kumadza gonera just because of national ID. Isn't that
yeah, so those ones are the same in identity management. Actually, one of the think tech Thursdays tinapanga weyambirira tinaonesa so how we do identity management and access control. It's our field and we do have the skill set. But I should also say, I think from what we were reading in the papers, they already have a contractor that is looking to that, but they might want to do my improvements because for example, my daughter passport never expire and so if you are tested in town to kudigirira, we are okay. Kuma you're talking of someone who else we can do something better.
Nthawi yatithera munthu mulendo amakhala mawa kukhosi takamba za ku MCCI takamba za SPAC mawu ano Yomaliza ndi otani nthawi ino.
I think ndi akambe muwiri because ababa ndabala zipewa ziwiri
mavala zipewa ziwiri
mwandifusa ziwiri so ndikambe muwiri kwinako ndi ngati mbali ya MCCI. I think mbali ya MCCI tapanga push kwambiri. What we do is representation of the private sector in Malawi. And you can't talk about the economy moving forward without the conducive environment for the private sector. So those are the things that we pushed, for example, even on the budget sessions and all that. We just look forward that maybe some of the things, like I said, the government yambabwino, some of the things we're seeing, we also look forward with the thing that will bring out to government. They should be looked at them with a solid eye. Because sometimes timabweresas in the event yomaonesa kuti as a business community, how do we bring in and tipange our partner? Government most of the times has looked at it as they are failing to look at way ahead. Because manena kuti mata kukhala with what we call raw hanging fruits and zinazoti parting and how. We've noticed most of the things that is parting and how government imazakanga tiko tawa. So I know it will be a problem of the next president, but that's something that we can look at.
I think musinda maganizo. Yeah. I think musinda maganizo. Mundu uza kutanda kanzo ndiye. Mamanga basa.
Ya basi.
Mamanga?
Yes, ndibangas.
Mukhala nziko muno?
Yeah, basi.
Oh.
Kana funa kuti ndituluke.
Shomuri ngani mulowera Rwanda.
Yeah. Kana ndifuna kutuluka ngana tuka kale. I've got my permits in so many countries.
Oh.
Yeah, my resident permit and whatever, but kwanu. So even the things that I'm investing in Malawi now, you might have seen it but we are pajichiri bomb.
Opposite golden people.
Yeah.
Okay. Mumanga jani kule.
Zintu zingapo.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one we call it a spark village.
Okay.
Village in a city, so it's bigger than the complex here.
Okay.
So we're putting the complex, we're putting the convention center. I would want and how kunja zita kanima functions out of Malawi. Yeah, so because you're having a convention center until 2000, it means now that whole area will grow one bit. Actually, it's a chain. Nikamanina za community and ecosystem would want to have, for example, even Mashato Zomatenga and Apange Park Stadium, there will be even an entertainment area. So good Zambi in business is a
Mayambaka manga.
Pamono.
Nango na malata.
Hata touching to some guy.
Mayambaka simunayamba.
Part of the works, not okay. Yeah.
So mumaliza it.
So ilimajana ngapo. There is the entertainment area, which we're planning by the end of the year we might open.
Oh,
yeah.
This year?
Yeah, this
2026.
2026.
Okay.
So around December we should be able to open the entertainment area. It will be part of the same MGs ngati yaku Irongo.
Okay.
Then the convention center should take us about 2 to 3 years. The office complex from now is 5 years. Yeah. So the irima
drama zake muzitengo
tubanga business it.
Okay.
Hey, so yeah, drama is a business.
These are big projects.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth billions, but like I said, this is our country, so we can make money. Still have to invest in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ndi kuthokozeni pali mawena songati magamba mbali ya chemba maso magamba mbali ya
okay. So maybe mbali ya sparks just to say at the end of it my team knows we are Malawians, so some of the things that we do in the country business wise they will not even make sense.
Okay.
I know even many ndinkamanga office ya kulirongo ndinkafusa ndi contractor kumanena kuti kodi building you say business yako Malawi konkulu koma we do them because it's our own country tibita so good
chinyumba chijamamanga kulirongo chichayo chinadzadza basi.
No, I think there's one floor. So, but otherwise, no, we're not renting. We've only rent out one floor. Oh. On this park.
On this park, but floor ina simu jina rent out.
Yeah. This park.
So, this park, but Dambaso kuda kuti kuli malojera mwe.
Arigo.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's open to the public?
Yeah, we've opened Apansi.
Oh, alipo malojera ngabo?
So up and see it's called MJs. I mean, open.
Okay.
Kuma